What's up, Facebook fam and my YouTube family? This is your girl, Lakeisha Mosley, your digital event strategist and event producer here with the author. Look, bruh, we had problems yesterday, okay?
A lot of problems.
But not today. We about to make this happen because what you have going on is a great thing. And I definitely want people to learn more about it. So let's start first with you introducing yourself and then we'll jump into some questions.
All right. To everyone, my name is Derryl Bohanna. I am the author of the children book, The Adventures in Moneyland with Dede, Dez, and Dexx. It's a great book. Honestly, I call it a children's book, but I think we can all learn from this book. So, as you're reading to your children, grandkids, or some strange kid down the street, or just reading for yourself, I think you can pick up some great information because we're never too old to learn something that we thought we knew.
Right. Yep. Right. Yes, I love that. So let me first just say that when we first initially talked, I loved the whole premise behind the book. I love the fact that you've done what so many people have not done, and that's tackle an issue that in the Black community we don't even talk about. To be honest, I didn't even learn about the value of money until I was like grown. Like had already made all the stupid mistakes, had already ruined my credit, all of those things. And so I really love the fact that you saw fit to number one, do it. But secondly, that you put it in such a way for where it's themed for children, but like you just said, adults, could learn from it as well. So first I want to ask, what made you do it? And then why do you think children should learn something like this so early?
Well, what made me do it, Lakeisha, is that I have children of my own. And if my mom was here to tell it, she'd tell you that I'm cheap. So I've always been this money conscious guy. So when my children was growing up, I just felt that it was necessary for them to understand the value of money.
Right.
And it started from there. So we would have meetings. I think it was in about 9th to 10th grade at the time. So I started implementing family meetings, talking about writing checks, savings accounts, debit cards, budgeting their money, difference between liabilities and assets.
Right.
So we start learning those things early. Now, so everyone understands it's not foolproof. They're going to make their mistakes, but those teachings will come back. And there's a verse in the Bible that tells you, train a child in the way they should go. So
PK, yes, sir.
Exactly. So, they're going to mess up, but those teachings will come back. And, through this interview, you'll understand my why and my purpose, as we continue to talk.
Right. I absolutely love that because, again, some of us don't understand the value. And you said a key word, which is value of money. And then we make all these stupid mistakes. And then we go and start businesses without an understanding of money and how money should be used as a tool. And, in a sense of we using our own money if we ran our credit right, if our stuff was right, we could be using other people's money. In that sense. And so I really love you tackled that.
Yeah. So, and you said it earlier, to be honest, you and I already had a conversation, so we pretty much piggyback off each other. But as we was growing up, and people say, well, why do I need to teach my child about money so early? Well, just like music and everything else, your child is being influenced whether you want them to be or not.
Exactly.
And the way they're being influenced, they're watching us as their parents, grandparents, or neighbor, right? They see you going to the store, they see you buying groceries, they hear you paying bills, they see you at the store consuming, products. They're being influenced anyway. But we make the mistake of saying, oh, they're just children, they don't understand. They actually understand.
Right. They do. And I think it's so key that you said, like, you started meetings with your kids early on.
I did. Now that doesn't mean my daughters they spenders.
We girls, we gotta shop there. Okay?
But Yeah, exactly. But I was shocked about a month or two ago. She said, "Hey, Dad." I said, "What's up?" She said, "Hey, I got my savings account and I started my 401k at work." I said, "Who am I talking? Who am I speaking with?"
Right. But like you say, they watch us.
Right. They watch us. And now because she's older now, she's understanding the importance of savings. And I told her, listen, it's not going to be easy. Everyone is listening. It's not going to be easy because when you save money, some situation is going to come up that's going to take their savings, right?
Yep.
You just have to continue through the process. You have to trust the process. And don't
Exactly.
let everything flashy capture your attention and your wallet.
Right. So
So
let's start there, Derryl. You make a good point that it's not easy. So where do you suggest people start?
with the adventures of Moneyland, he's there.
Okay, I was like, I hope he get the plug. I hope he get the plug. I hope he get the plug.
well, well, honestly, seriously speaking, people may take me as having two different messages, but I don't. It's like it may be written in a children's book form because who doesn't love a cartoon? Who
Right.
doesn't love mascots? We all do. I don't care who we are. We sit around watch a cartoon every once in a while, right?
Right.
Okay. So how it all ties in together is because we're older now. The challenge is to get some of the older people to understand the value of money,
Right.
and we have to get past that. It is for us. It's
Yeah.
not just for the people you see on TV
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see their sacrifice, you don't see their struggles. You just see the end results
Right.
of their struggle and sacrifice. So starting, I'm gonna give you what happened to me, right? So by the time I was 21, I don't mind sharing this because I share with a lot of people. When I was 21, I already had 6 children. I joined the military. Now with 6 kids, four at home, because I adopted my daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7. So 4 at home, 3 away from home. I'm paying child support for 3. Now you tell me, how do you save money from that? From a military paycheck?
Right.
So what I did was, you say, how do you start? I started at $25 a pay period. When I would get a raise, I rationalized with myself, wait a minute, I'm already living off of this. So why do I need to add this to that?
Right.
So what I would do, because I had a wife, I would say, okay, if I got a $75 raise, I would split it in half. This half is for the now me, and the other half is for the future me, or
Mm-hmm.
it was us at the time.
Right.
Bonuses, income taxes, I took it and I put in this, and that's how I was able to build that foundation.
Right.
Because I tell people, I started with the roof, so I'm holding the roof up like this, and I'm trying to build I'm, I'm
Exactly.
trying to build up,
Right.
right? So I started with $25 a day. From $25 a day, it went from a healthy savings account to a mutual fund, from mutual fund to stocks to a business.
Right.
And we're talking about a cycle, but we have to trust the process. We
Right.
have to trust the process.
Right.
So changing your family tree, building generational wealth is going to hurt because we have to learn new things,
Right.
right?
Right. That's true.
But starting somewhere, it helps. It helps.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. So that just segues into the next question. People feel like that building generational wealth is so difficult. It's so hard. And I think a lot of it is because we don't know. We weren't taught that. I can remember my grandmother having a bank account, but not really using it. She just had it because a social security check had to go
Right,
somewhere.
right.
But I would take her to the bank on the first or whatever day, and she would take it all out and keep it at
Right.
home. So I think for a lot of us, generational wealth is not something we know. But people say it's hard to build. What do you say about that?
It is. But once again, you have to trust the process.
Right.
And we have to get out of that mindset. Well, I had to do it this way. I had to go get it. They need to go get it. When I die, I'm spending everything. But we don't understand. And I'm being careful in my interviews because I don't want people to think I'm using other people's names to try to get recognition. But if you go look at the Rockefellers, they are still billionaires today. The original wealth builders are gone,
Right.
but their children, grandchildren, third or fourth generation is benefiting from this.
Right.
Because they don't have that mindset that we have. Well, I'm gonna spend it all. I'm not gonna leave anything for anyone.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we get mad at the Fords and at the Bushes and all of these people that you see, but someone had to sacrifice in their family in order to make that happen.
Sure did. Sure did. I mean, it's facts. And I
Right.
think a lot of times we don't even think about um generational wealth in a sense of it ain't for you right now, boo. It's for the people that's way beyond you.
Right.
I was on an interview the other day and the person was saying, what is your goal? Like, is it 6 figures, 7 figures? And I said, it's to build legacy for my family.
Right.
Not so much so that I can spend it, but so that my children's children's children will have something to build on.
Well, I mean, listen, there's twofold to that situation that look, we do work, we do
Right.
make sacrifices, right? There's nothing wrong with you enjoying yourself.
Exactly.
But when you look at I'm a statistic guy, okay? And when I wrote my book, I didn't write it off of falling asleep and waking up with this idea.
Right.
I did research.
Mm-hmm.
Research says, right? And anyone that want to follow me, you can look at. I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget this one. It's the economic state of Black America, and it was written in 2020 by the Joint Economic Committee, Congressman Dan Boyer.
Mm-hmm.
And in that report, it says that African Americans are now consuming, not investing, consuming about $1 trillion.
Yep.
1 trillion as a Black unit. Now we're not talking about our elite Blacks.
Yeah.
We talking about as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if you want to put the elite Blacks on a pedestal, which is fine, they made theirs, right? But look at this. The median wealth of a Black family still today, even with your elite Blacks, the wealth of a Black family is $17,000 less than 1/10 of a white family that brings in $171,000.
Wow. Woo. That's still that's like a punch in the gut.
It's a punch in the guts. And so with that being said, is that even those African Americans or Blacks, you may have the house, you may have the career, but you have to sit back and say, okay, I got all this stuff, I'm enjoying it. But am I teaching my children how to take what I leave and make it grow? Not spend it, consume it, but how can I teach them to make it grow?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Because they don't, a lot of us weren't taught that, but I think we stay in that mindset of, well, you don't know what you don't know. But yeah, but you need to go and learn what you don't know so that you can make better decisions.
And that's how, yeah.
And I think it's crazy. So like for me, sometimes I'm always the odd man out when it comes to our people. Because a lot of times I'm invited to the table or I'm in events where there's a diverse group of people. And so someone brought up the conversation of, well, someone, not the statistic you gave, because that just knocked me out, but they were talking about how we consume, how the length of time money stays in our community, as opposed to whites, Jews.
6 seconds.
Yes. Which is crazy.
That's it. 6 seconds.
Yes. And so there was another lady that said, well, the question was posed to her, well, how did you obtain wealth? And she said, honestly, the wealth I have, I didn't even work for it. Like it was passed down to me, but I'm still doing certain things to build wealth. And she just told the story of, well, when I got old enough, I was given an allowance and I had to ration or save that allowance. There were certain things I had to do it. So she just kind of talked about how she was raised, and a lot of the other Caucasian counterparts say, yeah, we did too. By the time I graduated from high school, I had a credit card in my name. My credit was at a good level. I went to school with, no loans, or if I had to get loans, my parents made sure that I was doing certain things. And so then, of course, somebody, one of us says, well, y'all already born with an advantage, and it's things like that that keep us just there, just behind.
Right. With that mentality, yes.
Yeah.
There are other things that I do, and I come across children or heirs, and when I come across them, it's already late. When they've lost their property, they've lost their the insurance is gone,
right?
And because they was ill-equipped to handle that type of money.
Yeah.
So the intentions of their mothers, fathers, grandparents was great. But you leaving them $200,000-$300,000 when you could have took 10 of it and sent them to a business class or some type of financial planning class.
Right.
But if we not wearing it on our feet, our back, it's kind of and I had to learn that. I had to learn that when I first got into business. I had to get past that instant gratification.
Yes.
Because no one sees, like, why would I spend $1,700 on a piece of paper or have a lawyer look at it? You're not getting instant gratification. You just got a piece of paper in your hand that you paid $1,700, whatever. And I'm just throwing a number out there, right?
Right.
But in order to build that legacy, that generational wealth, you have to go through those necessary steps.
That's right.
Into building. And yes, you're going to pay money for lawyers. You're going to pay money for pieces of paper that's like, okay, I can put it on the shelf now. Where's the money? Right. And I had to get past that, right?
That's funny because that's the mentality. Some of us grew up with. I want it right now. I made the joke today. I was talking to a friend and I said, I've been in business, for 8 years.
Right.
However, I went full time with my business last year and was able to amass a level of wealth that I had never even thought about working other jobs. Like I've been store managers, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew what it was. I was happy to get that $80,000 plus bonuses and all this other stuff. But guess what? I was blowing it because there was no understanding of money. But when you get out here in this entrepreneur world, if you don't have it together, baby, you will still be broke.
Exactly.
I had to do that. Exactly. And I had to do that. And it's just now where I'm getting to a point where I don't take appointments on Mondays and Fridays because I can do that.
Right.
I work Tuesday through Thursday, certain hours because I can do that. And because I'm not chasing the money, but I'm being very strategic about my finances, I had to take financial projection classes. And I'm like, girl, you got 2 degrees and you just not getting to understand it too. All of this stuff.
I met a surgeon the other day. He said, I've been in school since I was, he's Pakistani, I think. Something like that. He said, I've been in school since I was 4 years old and I'm getting ready to be a surgeon and no one has taught me money yet. So you can have the big degrees, the big titles, and still not know money.
Still not know money.
All thing money is doing is covering up your mistakes.
That's it. Look at the ball players there. How many ball players, how many R&B artist stars that we've heard where they said, oh, well, my uncle, my cousin, my accountant wiped me out. Ball players who retired that ain't got no money.
They don't have any money, right? Because we didn't start from the basics. And once again, we have to start from the basics, to be honest with you, right? When I said in the beginning of your show is that we're never too old to learn something that we did, that we thought we knew. And writing this book, honestly, it gave me a different education and outlook on what I thought I knew.
Right.
And every day that we wake up, we're learning because guess what? once you learn basic money, then you learn savings, then you learn stocks, bonds.
Right.
And I'm learning cryptocurrency now. So
Mm-hmm.
because the world is changing, the world is evolving, and it forces us to go learn new things,
Right.
especially not sitting your money in some savings account. That's not anyway. It's not going anywhere.
So I'm glad you brought that up. It wasn't until sometime last year, because when we was home, sister had a little time to do some research and do some things.
Right.
And this, I was listening to this guy, and he was talking about banks, and he was saying like how we are enslaved to banks,
Mhm.
and that we don't really understand what they're there for, and that's why banks make a lot of money, because if people put their money in and funneled it out as they should into
Mhm.
other entities, like you
Mhm.
said, cryptocurrency, investment, stocks, real estate, all of these things, banks couldn't do the things that they do because they wouldn't have the funds to. When you
Right.
go sit your money, your savings, especially one that you don't want to touch, when you go sit it in there, that's free money they use. Just like we talk about income tax, folks be like, "Oh no, I can't wait to get a return." Yeah, the return is good, but I'd rather pay less taxes now that I'm
Right.
an entrepreneur. How about that one?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'd rather
Exactly.
pay less taxes.
Exactly. So, and all those lessons, to be honest with you, everything you and I speaking about, all those lessons are in these book. Is in this book, and it's going to flow right into the next book after this one. So the Moneyland is an introduction to money, the concept of it, the amount of it, and I know we're talking about money, but guess what? You can have all the money in the world, but if your character is no good, then
Let's talk
your
about
money
it.
is worthless.
It's
So
worthless. You
it's
right?
worth it. So there's character building in the book. Another thing that we are missing is the family bond. So there's both parents in the household
Right.
in this
I
book,
like that.
but life is not perfect. So
Right.
these kids they will go through challenges and they will go through experiences in each book. So people understand, look, this is not I ain't gonna be funny. This is not the Cosby Show. This is not picture perfect.
Yes.
This is not
Yes.
picture perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm glad, because my next question was, tell us just a tad bit about the book, but I'm also glad you brought about character and things like that, because people are like, well, I just want to get to the bag. But if you rotten,
The bad
listen,
it just exposed who you really are.
exactly.
Right. Right.
Exactly. So tell us just a little bit, because we want them to get the book there, okay?
Yes.
About how Dede, Dez, and Dex just kind of move about just a little bit, just a tad bit.
So when you get the books, you'll see Dex has a light bulb on his hat. And he's a thinker. So when he's thinking, the light bulb goes off. That's what that means. Dede, she wears and so Dex is Dez is the big brother in the group, right? So he leads the way, but he's the more reserved type guy. But he gets the job done. But we all know when there's a sister in the house, we know who the real boss is.
We take our rightful place, okay?
Exactly, exactly. So Dede, she I can say she struggled with money, but she find a hard time budgeting because there are things that she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But her older brother could convinces her, hey, look, we really got to do this. But one of the bigger things about Dede is you'll notice that she wears a heart on her shirt, and those hearts are interchangeable with colors. And the reason for that is because children also faces different challenges in life.
Right.
Uh, Cancer, sickle cell, you name it, they're facing some of the same things that that we face, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose of a heart is to represent each one of those issues that children are dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And as uh, they, as the book and as the company grows, we will be giving donations to these different organizations because honestly, it is a serious issue that's
Right.
out there the kids are facing.
That's true.
and we want to make sure that research and things are going accordingly to at least help these children as well.
Right. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah.
I love that.
So that's in the plans as well. That's honestly that's my note. Any business that I build, if it doesn't have a way of giving back, I really can't do it because I
Right.
feel empty if I'm not giving back to the
Right.
community. Yeah.
Right.
Now we're talking about Dex. He's the wild one in the bunch. He's the youngest brother. There's no telling when you're going to see Dex. Yeah.
It's got to be one.
And that's him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be
Yeah.
one. It's
He,
got to be one.
he say he the flyest little dude in the family. So that's his motto. He's the flyest little dude in the family.
I love that. I absolutely love the concept. I mean, like from the time that we talked, I absolutely loved it. Number one, because again, it tackles an issue that we don't talk about as a community of people,
Mhm.
and we wonder why everybody else amasses wealth, or
Right.
why when some of us amass wealth, we can't relate.
Right.
It's just difficult. But I really love that. So you already kind of told us it's going to be some other books in the future. So
hmm hmm
is that a affirmative that it's going to be other books?
it's affirmative. Yeah. I'm working on book 2. Uh, Generational wealth. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm not. But book 3, I solicit my daughter. I'm not gonna tell you why, but there's something that she loves to do, and I think a lot of girls love. So it's gonna the book after that is gonna be more of a responsibility type thing. And the
Mm,
and the challenge with these books, Lakeisha, is that you don't want to scare the children, right?
right,
But I'm making it fun, and they're learning at the same time.
right, right. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love that. I honestly think, and I could be impartial because we cool, that they need to have books like yours in schools. Like we need to be teaching that stuff. When I go back and look, I'm not gonna even tell my age, but anyway,
That's all.
um, I'm in my 40s, so
Yeah,
I could think in school we did math and we did basic money, but there were no classes. I mean, if you think about it, Daryl, how we learn money, Monopoly.
yeah. And we
And
didn't realize people play Monopoly for real. People play
that's
Monopoly
right.
for real.
That's right.
So one of my eye openers is when I got to college. Uh, I struggled in math at the time, but I had to go back to pre-algebra and all this other crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to accounting. I was like, okay, it's just money. They like, and then when I got into the class, I'm like, oh my God, are you really doing moving this and it's separated? And then when you finish accounting, they say, okay, finances. I just finished accounting. It's not the same.
Right.
But guess what? They're still not teaching you money,
Money.
the basics of money.
Right. That's so true. They're still not giving you like the whole basically. I'm gonna just be transparent. When I got the LLC and I'm like, oh, I got the LLC. Okay, now I'm about to do this. And they was like, oh, what about your profit and loss? A who? What about
Who?
a balance
Exactly.
sheet? A what? What about X,
Exactly.
Y, and Z? And even if I was, my first attempt at hiring an accountant didn't turn out too well because I couldn't even understand what they was doing. So how can I check to see that you watching my money the way I need you to watch my
Right.
money if
Because you
I
don't
don't even
understand.
know?
Right. Right. And you don't know what questions to ask. That is correct.
You don't know
So,
what questions to ask. Period. And that's why forensic accounting is
right.
such a big field now.
Right. And that's why I get, just getting back to honestly, I keep saying getting back to the basics, right? Because I don't know, I'm pretty sure you have savvy followers. I'm sure you do. But we still need to get back to the basics because
Mhm.
we need to go back and grab our children
Right.
and say, okay, look, here we go. Let's start from here and let me
Hmm.
move you up this way. And we can start
Yeah.
right here because I'm not gonna sleep. Because book 2, we're looking this summer. I told
Oh, you ain't
I,
playing.
I told my illustrator, I said, you got 90 to 120 days off, and we're gonna get right back.
Right. Look, and somebody asked right here, will there be an animation?
Yeah, you know what? Yes. I I told my illustrator, I said, listen, book two, and I talked to him, I said, look, how do we make, animation? How do we get to make it a app, interactive?
Right, right.
So we already thinking along those lines. So
That's
that's where we're going.
great.
Yep.
Listen, adults play games, boo.
All day. I see them all the time.
So
Candy
animation,
Crush.
yes, Candy Crush. I'm sitting here, I'm getting ready to catch a flight. This lady over here playing Candy Crush on this side of me. Somebody over here on the other side of me playing like a word game.
Right.
All these things. It's so I love. I'm glad that was a really great question, and I'm glad that there will be animation.
Right.
And I love how you say that whole responsibility thing because I hear so many people and all these scammers and fakers out here on IG, frauds, talk about getting to the bag, but what's getting to the bag if your children ain't holding it with you?
Nothing. It was a temporary gain just for you, and your next generation is lost. And with that being said, is that building that bond with your children and making it important for both of you all. And I'm gonna tell you a story after this. Is that taking the time in reading the book
Mm-hmm.
and then allowing your child to read the book,
Right.
allowing that child to make a mistake. Because the moment you tell the child, no, that's wrong, this how it is, now you're enabling that child.
Right.
But it's a book. So what if you don't know there's 5 pennies? So what if you don't know that's a dime?
Mm-hmm.
Let him learn. Don't tell it. Make him understand what it is. Make him understand the purpose and
Right.
the value of it. So building that bond, this is my prayer is that a bond is built by reading the book, bringing that bond back together, and then
Right.
the child learning, not us. I've
Right.
seen parents do their children's homework.
Yep.
Like, hey, that child has to go back to school tomorrow and regurgitate everything that you just did for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm hoping
Exactly.
that this book was like, you know what? Me and my child, we're gonna sit here and read it, and we're gonna talk about it,
Right.
and we're gonna pick it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
this is the thing, Lakeisha. I mean, everyone says well, they're just children. The Chinese, the Koreans, the whites, all these other countries don't see their children as children.
They sure don't. They sure don't.
And we have been in the America. I don't have that statistic, but we are the oldest ethnic group that's been in America.
Mm-hmm.
We spend $1 trillion consuming stuff, right? That
Yep.
means $1 trillion have passed through each one of our not each one of our hands, but collectively has
Right.
passed through our heads. But we are the bottom,
Earners, savers, all of that.
all of it. We're at the
Yep.
bottom.
Yep. Yep. Oh my gosh. Like it's almost sad to a point. For me, because it's like we want more for our generations. Like we want more than that. We want generational wealth to be built
Right.
for everyone. And so, like you said, people get mad at the Rockefellers and the Walmarts and all. That's old money.
It's old money.
Old money that has
Sam Walton
sustained their
drove the
families.
Sam Walton drove the same pickup truck to the day he died, and he was already I think he was a billionaire. He was
Right,
already a billionaire when he died.
right,
He drove the same truck.
right,
And you
right.
look at his children, because one thing about me in business, I still follow people. Some of his children still drive Ford pickup trucks.
Sure
I'm
do.
pretty sure they don't get around on commercial. They
Right.
take but they sacrifice for the next generation.
Yes, yes. And I think what also goes into it too is that it's a lifestyle
It's a lifestyle.
change that has to occur. I know one person that looks like us that's a millionaire that I know for a fact that they're a millionaire. I'm not discounting anybody else who said I don't know them, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that person. And the way that that person lives is not anything like what the TV says that millionaires live.
No. Because we have to understand, once again, going back to the basics, we have to understand everyone does not have a special skill. Football, basketball, hockey,
Right.
whatever, rap, sing. So there
Exactly.
are some of us that have to take it slower and be more meticulous in what we're
Right.
doing.
Right.
So
Right.
some of us won't get there as fast, but we can get there if we not only make the sacrifice, but venture into other financial avenues, not only in finances, but education,
Right.
education,
Right. Yeah.
and move towards other things. Listen, sitting at home watching TV is not going to get it for us.
Nope.
Playing Candy Crush and all it's not going to get it for us. We
So
have to
not
sacrifice. We're going to have to sacrifice.
right. Yeah, like you said, not watching Cribs or whoever else got money and
Yeah,
all this other stuff. Like we watch things and we want to study what other people doing, but to be a real student is for you to get next to somebody who you know doing what you want to do,
that's
and
right.
you start to pattern your life. You know the things you do.
Absolutely.
You
Mhm.
know by them. I noticed, like I said, that person they got a bedtime. They got
Right,
time to get up. They
right,
are in tune with God. They get daily word from God. They don't move. And if God tells them to move on something, they don't hesitate. They are
right,
very obedient
right,
about it. And honestly, you don't even know that person got money like that because they don't, number one, talk about it. They
right,
don't floss it or show it around. But best believe if they want to go buy something, they can.
right, right.
Yep,
But just financial discipline,
exactly.
and I'm hoping that the adventures of Dede, Diz, and Dex will help not only help the children, but help parents
Right,
along the way. And there is no such thing as being embarrassed,
right.
right?
Can be.
You can't be embarrassed because there's a lot of us that's not only have a financial literacy issue, but those of us that can't read. So there's a real issue that we're having. And I'm praying that even with these books and these projects, that we can solve these problems.
Right,
I
right,
found some, I ain't gonna say there was no issue with the book, but I found some that I can add to the next book.
right, right,
To help with some things that I have been thinking about. It just didn't make it to this first book. But after this book going forward, there are going to be some definitions and things like
right,
that broken down in the book, to help those that's trying and they just
right.
too embarrassed to ask to scream for help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Those are some really great points. I have certainly enjoyed talking with you, Derryl. I have the website here listed. This video, of course, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. It's going to be on Facebook. I've tagged you in it. I want people to definitely like tap into you. Know what you see what you got going on.
Yeah.
Follow the series because again, like you said, it's so important and it doesn't just cater to children. Although it's an adventure and it's fun and it's a comic, but it has life lessons in it that even adults can
Right.
take part in.
And the holidays are coming up, Nikisha. So I
Exactly.
posted this, right. So in the book, you'll see that I have mascots.
Oh yeah. I like that. See y'all
So so
definitely.
we we're going to be in a community. Once again, like I say, if I can't give something back to the community, I feel worthless. If I'm not out there doing something.
Right.
So we're going to be out in the community doing some things this holiday season, and I'll keep everyone posted. When we out there,
Yeah.
just let me say hi. It's not gonna
Yes.
cost you anything.
Yes. So tell everyone how they can follow you or stay connected with you.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram with Books by Bohanna. And you can also find me on YouTube, Books by Bohanna. Go and subscribe. You'll see videos. You'll see, anything that I'm going to do.
Right.
It's going to be, on those platforms.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. So definitely make sure y'all are following Derryl. They're gonna be in the community, and I love the fact that you're giving back as well because it's one thing to write a book about an experience or to create an experience, but to actually make that come to life in the community, where so many people can benefit from it. I think it's even a greater thing.
Right. We got to leave this world better than we found it, even though people are trying to
Exactly.
destroy
Yes, that's so true. So again, I definitely have enjoyed talking with you. Thank you so much for being a guest, and we'll definitely stay connected.
let's stay connected. Let's talk more.
Yes,
All right.
definitely.
Thank you.